Hello you guys, welcome back. So today I am gonna do a reference sheet for one of my original characters. There are 3 characters that I will be looking at, but for this video it'll be one of my male characters. His name is Musashi and I created him maybe about like 13 years ago. It's been a while and I'm just excited to do a new reference sheet because he just needs one. Let me apologize. I have burbs in my room and there's no off switch on them. The sad thing is that I've looked and there isn't any. And they like to compete with me to see who is the loudest person in this room or the loudest living thing in this room. So once again, I am sorry. So I'm going to be using an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I will be dividing it in half. So on the left side, I will be doing full body or any like side shot views for the references. And on the right, I am going to do an up close view of the face and head and up close view of the torso. So starting off my reference sheet, I am gonna make a little chart with my character Musashi's face and head facing different directions. It'll help me make a more consistent character. The reason I say that is because I still have trouble consistently drawing the same character looking the same. So not necessarily the appearance, it's more like my style fluctuates a lot and they don't look the same whenever I draw them. Personally, I just want to get better and practice more on drawing my characters more consistently. It's just, I never thought of it, but when I was younger, I always found it more difficult to draw them looking the same. And seriously, with my art style fluctuation, it doesn't make it any better because, I feel like the only reason they're even noticeable is because 1, I draw them very often, and 2, just certain features you can recognize, but I feel like that's not enough for me. Like, I want to practice a little bit more on making them look the same every time I draw them. And, for that one time, or hopefully in the future, if I ever actually create a manga or some kind of comic book surrounding my characters, I'm gonna be happy that I actually had that practice of drawing my characters consistently, because that's definitely something I want to do more. And it's been a dream to create something like that, but I gotta create a story first with them in it. Overall, luckily my characters haven't changed completely. They have a couple of different features added to them, but nothing to say that they're completely different characters. And I just, even though they're minor changes, I still wanted a new reference sheet because I feel like the oldest one, if I remember correctly, was from like 2013, and that was the last reference, like full reference sheet I've done of any of my characters. And the thing is that I've drawn him a lot since then, and I've definitely changed a lot of his like body features. No, he doesn't look different. It's just I added tattoos. That's what I'm trying to say. He has 2 sleeves now and a rib tattoo that he did not have from any of the original reference sheets. And that's just because I find tattoos aesthetically pleasing, so there was nobody stopping me from adding tattoos to my characters. So all of them have some, especially my main characters. And I definitely wanted to make this reference sheet just to show off his tattoos. In this reference sheet, I definitely just drew his body with the tattoos, but I do need to make a full reference of the actual tattoos, like what do the tattoos have in them and what part of the arm or rib cage the tattoos would be at. Because since it's not a consistent drawing of the tattoos, I just draw them inconsistently what I think they look like or what it's supposed to be. So I need to make a reference for that too. I sadly did not add it to this sheet, so I'm gonna have to make it on my own later, and I might even change what I drew on this sheet. But I love this character so much. Other than the tattoos, I did change his nose shape, and that's mostly because I really wanted him to have a Roman arch nose. I love the profiles where you can see those arched noses a lot. So I was like, I want one of my characters to have it, and I feel like his facial features like would support that. So I was like, hell yeah. And I just wanted something a little bit different as well, because I just remember when I was younger, I used to draw my facial features exactly the same. Didn't matter if they were men or women, female or male. But I am glad that my taste changed, as well as I got out of my comfort zone, because I feel like the idea of experimenting as well as doing something different that you normally don't, literally the definition of experimenting, is scary. And I know a lot of people, including me before, won't or wouldn't do them, and that's because I was afraid of change or afraid of not being able to do it. But the thing is that it's like anything, practice makes perfect. You aren't automatically the best right away. Like, you just have to keep going at it, practicing, and then you'll get better at it. And you know what? I always thought that like not drawing the same thing over and over again would like be difficult, as well as would make my drawings bad. But in all honesty, the more different it looks, the weirder it is, the better I feel, because it means that I'm practicing different shapes. It means that I'm practicing different types of like anything, actually, whatever I'm doing, because it doesn't necessarily have to go for like faces. It can be like body shapes, it can be clothing, it can be coloring, it can be like tools that I use, or in actually like just in my actual life. But I'm glad. If you guys want a tip, I just say experiment and go for it, you guys. Don't be afraid to. It doesn't hurt unless you're doing something dangerous. Just be careful. With precaution, do whatever you want to do. But for art, definitely don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. Like, look at artists that you love and look at what they do and see what kind of like different things, either in coloring or in proportions or in their art style, that they do that you don't, and maybe try it out and see if like you might like to do that more often, and see if you can change a little bit of what you know or what your comfort zone is, because you know it'll just make your art so much better. But anyways, none of you guys wanted that. But I gave you some advice that nobody asked for. But so I moved on to drawing his torso, and I think in the last reference sheet, the one from 2013, I drew him with like super duper like muscly abs and all that. But you know, he is definitely toned. He's definitely like thick. But I feel like he wouldn't have like a six-pack or like very defined abs at least. So I just made him really well toned and a nice like slim body, but no abs. He doesn't need them. Okay, so for this full body reference, even though I did the whole reference sheet him in his like underwear, like nude, so that you can see his, or I can see his body shape and his tattoos. I don't know why in this full body I like last second decided to draw him in clothing. That makes no sense. So right now I'm gonna show you the process of the drawing with clothes, but later towards the end of the video I will show a clip of me like erasing everything and then redrawing the whole body because he looked so like out of place with his clothing in this like full body like underwear reference sheet. I will make a different one where he has his like fashion style and all that like in a different reference sheet, but for now this is just a body reference sheet, or like a hedge reference sheet. The whole point is that there's no clothing in this. So I regretted it and later on I changed it. So for the torsos I went back because I only drew the torsos, but I still had to go in and put the tattoos. So oh, look how beautiful. I want to sleep in real life. I mean, I have to save up money because those are really expensive, but I love tattoos one day. But you know, vicariously I'll live through my characters. Look how beautiful sleeves look. But these are the tattoos I was telling you guys about. That one is one of the noticeable changes on my character, and then two, also those are the tattoos that I need to make full illustration references for, just so that I can reference to every time that I also draw those tattoos, because once again I always have a basic idea of what it is, but every time I actually draw them they look inconsistent because yeah, I don't know the definite like. For these two last drawings I am just showing different positions of the arms just so you can see the tattoos a little bit more. And on this last clip, it was the one I was talking about previously where I erased his clothes just so you could see his body, because I feel like him being clothed on this reference was a little bit odd. So for now this reference is just his face, head and body, and only in pencil, but I am planning to do a fashion reference with my characters just so you can see the different fashion styles that they have, as well as make color charts. I had a lot of fun making this video as well as the reference sheet. If by any chance you guys liked it as well, please leave a like or leave a comment. I will answer as I can. And if you guys want to check out any of my other videos, click on the link, subscribe, click the notification bell. If you want to check out other art, go to my Instagram and Twitter, both at ColorStarJo. Goodbye.